out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound. Appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Much love, much love, much love, y'all. Much love. Before we get started, I tell y'all I got to keep reiterating this. I'm being reminded to say it, man. You have to subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're with this movement, take the time out just to hit that button and subscribe. We're trying to get these numbers up so we can reach more people with this positive energy, more people with this positive message. That's what we're trying to do. TBP, Team Banky Pound, stand up. Salute. Let's hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video so it can move it around in the algorithm so we can, you know, like I say, spread far and wide and reach more people. That's our ultimate goal here, is to spread this positive energy, man, and get these messages across. Because like I say, in every one of these lessons, there is a blessing. So, you know, I tell these stories so people can get something from it, can get the positive energy out of it, to also see and paint a picture of what's going on inside the walls so you will know what's there without you actually ever having to go there, without you actually having to be in these type of positions. That's what I want these young men, these young kings to know. You ain't got to do what I did to get this lesson, you know, to get this blessing. I'm going to give it to you. You know, I had to go through 33 years of that type of hell just to be able to come out here and give you this message, you know, to have this information, to have this experience and give you this message just so you don't have to. So keep that in mind. That's why we want to spread this as far as it can be spread. And it all helps by subscribing, sharing these videos, liking these videos. So that's what we're trying to do. Today is going to be crazy because I don't know how this one's going to go, because this is a video that I can make that can actually be a whole long series. I mean, I could just do infinite amount of videos about this this crazy thing we call gambling, man, in prison. You know, it is a very, very addictive, crazy life that you live when you involved in gambling in prison, man. I'm talking about crazy. We talking about stabbings, maiming, killing, assaults. I mean, you name it. All of this comes with gambling, along with pettiness, larceny, chaos, cheating, lying, I mean, anything that you can think of is all encompassed in gambling, and especially in the penitentiary. And even knowing all of that is still a big, big part of prison. A big part of prison is an addiction. It's a way to survive, is a way to get the things in there that you don't have. So I don't think it's never going to stop. I heard it one time. I think it was a major or a captain or somebody told me. He said certain things in prison that you ain't going to never stop. He says there's always going to be a part of prison no matter what, because that's just the dynamics of the environment that you're in. But I know gambling was one of them. He said you would never stop gambling in prison. So they don't even attempt to stop gambling completely. They attempt to curtail it and to make some adjustments if they catch you gambling. It's a charge when you get caught gambling. You know what I'm saying? It's called gambling or gambling with gambling paraphernalia and all this, which I have plenty of those charges. But that's about it. The penalty is not great when you're gambling, opposed to other penalties that you get in prison for doing something where you can actually go to segregation for. You ain't actually going to segregation for gambling. It all depends. It got to be something that's happening within the process of gambling. But just gambling alone is just going to get you a charge, but it's not enough to just send you straight to segregation. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's all types of gambling in prison, though. You know, you got You got the parlays. The parlays is big money in prison. That's when you put down a certain amount of money and you got to pick a certain amount of teams to win, and they're giving out point spreads and all this and all of that. So basically, like I say, if you pick 4 teams and the 4 teams that they are matched together with may have a point spread, but you got to pick those 4 teams to win in the order of what's on that paper. If the point spread is 6, then they got to win by 6, vice versa, whatever. But you put in $1 on this, you can win $10. So it's 10 times what you put down. So, you know, you do the math. You put down $100, you can win 1,000. So that's the lure in the parlay, right? But the catch is you put down the least amount of games you can bet on is 4. But you got to win all 4 games to win that money. Whereas if you lose one of them games, your ticket is dead. You can win 3 games and be in the last game and you lose by 1 point, your ticket is dead. The parlay man keeps all of that money. The only way you get paid in the parlay is if you are 100%. If you get all of your games right, if you pick every game right, which is going to be harder to do than it is, than harder to do than say it, because you go on with a point spread. Even though your best team may win, they may not win by the point spread that's on that paper. So that would cancel the game out. But anyway, that's big money in penitentiary, a lot of big money. Mostly, like I've said this in some of my videos before, most of the parlay mans on every institution is going to be some of the richest dudes on the institution. He going to have most of all that money because he going to be taking in so much money a day, then way more than he going to end up giving out. So when a parlay man first opens up a parlay ticket, he has to have a lot of money to cover them tickets, because if he first put them out and the numbers that he's putting, the point spreads and stuff don't add up right, and he start getting hit, he will be paying out a lot of money, and he gonna have to have the money to cover that. But normally if he open up a ticket and he can survive the first 2-3 weeks and don't take no big hits, he already rich. he already rich. As you gotta think now, let's just say he take in on a big institution, let's just say he take in 300 tickets, 250 tickets. That's just if the tickets are $1 a piece that they're playing. Dudes can play a ticket for however much money they want. Let's just say they $1 tickets. That's $250 he took in that day. So if don't nobody hit for nothing but about 4 or 5 dudes hit for $1, it's $50 he done paid out. He done made a $200 profit for the day. You know, that's just counting the $1 ticket. So you do the math. So he gets away, if he can get away for a couple of weeks, he have accumulated a whole lot of money. So he have a big surplus that he can pay out when he do start getting hit. If he start getting hit, I've known parlay mans to go months without getting hit. And they got so much money, they got money in 3 or 4 or 5 different people's cell holding their money. That's how much money they have. So yeah, it's a crazy business, but along with that comes danger. Along with that comes larceny. Along with that comes chaos. Because even though you running, you're gonna have so much larceny and chaos. Oh, I didn't put that on my ticket. Oh, I picked another team. You had the wrong team down. Oh no, man, I won. Where my money? It's all of that come with it. So you're gonna have to have some head busters on your side, or you gonna have to be known as a head buster yourself to keep all of that chaos in line. You're gonna have to, because that's what's coming with it. When money is involved and gambling is involved, danger is also omnipresent. Always. Danger is omnipresent. It's there all the time when you got those components. Money and gambling. Danger comes with it. You see what I'm saying? So everybody who's involved in it they know the play. They know what you're dealing with. But that larceny never seems to stop, because people will do and say anything for $1, you know. And especially when you're in a place like prison, it's just going to be like that. It's just going to be, everybody's trying to get over. Everybody is dealing with a little bitty amount of everything, because we're removed from everything. It ain't nobody in prison super duper rich, because if they was, they wouldn't be in prison, you know, especially at the state level. So everybody is in there, it can always use more money and always trying to get more money. So if you're involved with the gambling, that's usually what it's for. although the gambling is an addiction too, it's an adrenaline rush. It's a rush to you that you get excited about it. That's how I was. I was excited when I gambled. Now I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Gambling was one of mine. I was addicted. I was addicted in prison. That was one of my flaws, man, that I couldn't get over for a long time. I didn't shake it for a long time. And when I tell y'all a long time, I mean a long time. I'm talking about, like I say, 33 years of prison. As you see, 87 to 2020. That's how long I was in. I probably ain't stopped gambling, and I was gambling in through the gate. I started in the jail, and I was gambling on the street. So I started in the jail learning how to play different little gambling games, like gambling with, 500 rummy and spades and stuff like that. So you building up the adrenaline for it in there. Then when I went to prison, I learned how to play. I learned before I left the jail, I learned how to play poker. Worst mistake I could have ever made was learn how to play the devil's poker, because that's what it is. It's a devil's game. That game will bring you anything all the way up to a trip to the graveyard. That poker is super dangerous, but it's super addictive. And I got caught up into that. And so when I went into prison, I started playing poker. And then, like I say, when you in jail, I tell people jail is like kindergarten. And kindergarten is jail, and prison is Yale. Kindergarten is jail, and prison is Yale. That's how much difference jail and prison is. So when you get to prison and you start gambling already too, you already got seasoned vets in there. You got dudes in there that man, they got larceny beyond larceny. Beyond larceny. So I started, like I said, from the gate. I probably didn't stop fully gambling and left it all alone, no matter what it was. Didn't gamble, didn't bet or nothing, till all the way up until 2000, like either 13 or 14. So like you talking about 6 or 7 years before I got out. So that's how powerful my addiction was. And I had slowed down many years over the last, decade or so, many years, opposed to in the beginning. In the beginning, man, I gambled sometime from sun up till sundown. I'm talking about, I get up and they have poker tables and poker games set up usually in every block you in. And for the most part, all the poker players is trying to win each other's money, and we'll sit down there and start playing poker right after breakfast. We started playing poker right after breakfast. So you talking about 7, 8 o'clock, in the morning, we playing poker all day long. I'm talking all day long we only go in for count time. If it ain't count time, we sitting at the table, shuffling, playing cards, playing poker all day long. And all the way till the last count at nighttime. And this usually, sometime, most of the time, this is a 7-day-a-week event. This is how dudes pass their time that was in the gambling and poker. They may play all week long, every day. And then when one of the main players is winning money, and then they don't want to play, or they want to set to the side and don't want to play, then dudes got attitudes. You can get a beef just like that. Because you done won dudes money and now you don't want to play no more. It ain't like out here in the street where you go to the casino and you win all this money, you leave, you gone. That's the purpose of gambling, is to win money. But in prison, it's not like that. You expected to win money or lose money, but to keep playing. They want you to keep playing, especially if you won their money. They want to get a chance to get their money back. So if they win your money on Monday, they expect you to be at the table on Tuesday so they can try to get their money back. If you're not at the table on Tuesday, you can rest assured some people who lost that money got a problem with you. And it's probably going to end up in a serious situation depending upon how much money you lost or whatever. It's just some crazy dynamics, man, that goes on in there. And like I say, it gets super dangerous because you don't know what somebody going to do. You may have won somebody money and they want to get back and you don't want to even play no more. And they may roll up on you a couple of days later and try to do something to you because they done lost that money, and they didn't get a chance to get it back. So it can get like that. I've seen it like that, you know. So it's a crazy situation. Like I say, then the larceny comes with it. You got professionals in there, man. They got dudes in there that know how to shuffle the deck and cut the cards and do all and know everything in your hand. Everything in your hand. They got savants in there like that. These dudes, they've studied this stuff so much. They got so many different ways. If you got dudes that's that sharp, they can shuffle them cards up and deal you 4 kings and deal themselves 4 aces, you know, and you will lose and don't even know you already lost before you got your hand because they know that type of stuff. I remember I ran into this dude named Teaspoon. He was like that. He was like that. He was a super larceny-hearted cat, super larceny, but he had that skill too, and a lot of people knew it. And when I first met him, I didn't know he had it, but I soon found out. But yeah, he could shuffle them up and cut them. As long as he could see them turned over, he could memorize them and shuffle them and put them the way he want and deal them, and he know what everybody got. So you had those type of dudes. You had the other type that just knew how to cheat. You had the dudes that get in the game and they be partners and they just try to bet against each other to raise the bet up so everybody else can fold, and they ain't got nothing, but they raise the bet up so high that everybody else fold because they together, and then if he win, then he win. It doesn't matter because they going to try to split the money up at the end of the game anyway. You see what I'm saying? So many different things you dealing with, you know. Then you got dudes that come to the game and they supposed to bring your money to the game. They call it cash and carry. You bring your money. So they'll come to the game with some money and they'll put the money in the game, and then they'll tell the people, well, hold my money to the side because if I win, I want to get my stuff back out first. So that was a common occurrence where dudes will hold this bag. This is Banky's money. Oh, this is Joe money. Oh, this is Blase money. And then they had the money separated. But when the game get the flowing and get thick and everything, and dudes lose and try to get some more money and say you got to go get it. Dudes will go get it and bring it back and hand in the bag and just say, oh, it's $30 in there. Give me $30. If you don't stop and check that bag, it may be $30 in there. It may not be. It may be $16 in there. He said, oh, I thought it was $30. But they're just trying to do that just to get some more money in their hand to try to win. And if they can win fast enough before you can check the bag, they'll cash out. Say, let me get that back. Here's that 30. It's game. All game, man. All larceny all the time. You see, it's a lot of moving parts, and you're trying to handle all this and do, especially the dude that's running the game. You know, the one that's running the game is responsible for all money, all situations, all, you know, arguments. He's responsible for everything because he's the one that's collecting the money. He's the one that's paying the money out. So whoever that is at the head of the game, he has to deal with all this losses, but he also get to cut the game. He get a percentage of every pot. This is how he makes his money. So normally when we playing poker, they'll rotate. Like I said, you got different dudes that play poker every day. You run it today, I run it tomorrow, the next man run it the next day, and it just keep on going like that in rotation. That way everybody gets a chance to run the game, so everybody trying not to lose a lot of money before the day comes that they run their game, because the day that they run their game, you're normally supposed to make money because you might win a few bets here and there, and you're collecting a cut off of every bet anyway. So you should always be ahead when you're running the game, but you got some dudes, they so greedy, they run the games and lose too, which is really an oxymoron. You ain't got no business running the game if you're going to lose, because you already start off ahead because you're collecting cuts off of every pot. You see what I'm saying? But the addiction to gambling is great, man. A dude, you got the dudes they call, we say he got to see every hand. He called everything. I call. He like AT&T. He called every hand. You know, and you can't win like that calling every hand. You think you can win every hand, you can't. It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. But like I say, the gambling game is deep, man. It's so deep and so dangerous, man. I've seen so much stuff happen with the gambling, and it don't deter people. And I'm a living example of that, because I can remember the first incident that I had with gambling it should have deterred me from gambling, period. You know, the first big incident, several before then, small incidents in the jail, might have to give dude the old 1-2 or something, or little petty money or arguments, and you might have to touch somebody up, because it's always going to be tension in gambling, because somebody's always going to be a loser, somebody's going to be a winner. So it's always gonna be hard feelings and, animosity. So, but I can remember the first big incident that happened with me with gambling, which should have, like I said, deterred me from gambling, and especially in prison. And it was early in my bit, man. This, within probably about 3 to 4 years. I can remember going in a room and shooting dice, which was one of my favorite gambling. Besides poker, if I had a preference, I would shoot dice instead of play poker. But both of them are super adrenaline highs. So, but dice, man, I just always been lucky in dice. And I've met dudes in dice that's shiesty, super shiesty too. You got dudes that know how to shake the dice and roll them and get whatever they want. They try to set them with their hand. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The mind is amazing, because in everything, in every field or everything that I ever been involved with, I've always found someone who knew how to get an edge, who knew how to manipulate the norm, who knew how to, put things in their favor. And even with dice, that's how it is. You got dudes that can shave the dice, load the dice, but, switch the dice out when you shoot, sleight of hand, some David Copperfield stuff. You got them. They out there, man. And they in the penitentiary. I know this one dude named Popcorn. He can shoot the dice and make every number on the dice. Every number at will. And he would even bet you I could shoot the dice and roll them from crap all the way up to 12 and back down and don't miss a number. If I miss a number, you win. And you can sit there and watch him do it. Shake them up, do it. Don't miss a number. That's just how talented people are and how much time they got on their hands to show that when they apply themselves to something, what can possibly be done. Now just imagine the people like that coming out on the street and applying themselves like that to building a business, Fortune 500 companies, or stuff. It's amazing what they can do. But it just all depends on where you focus your energy and your attention to. See, and you'd be surprised what you can do when you have to do it. See, now you locked up and you don't have all these opportunities, so you got to survive and you got to make a way to survive and to rise up and come up on top and get the things you need. So that's when they become creative. That's when they become innovative. That's when they do their best work. But they doing it, the best work, in the wrong place, man. They could be on the streets being millionaires, billionaires with the ingenious minds and things that dudes come up with in prison. But I say that to say this, like I say, Popcorn and a couple other dudes I met that was nice with them dice like that. So, but with me, I just was lucky. I ain't no trick, I ain't no gimmick. I just talked a lot of trash and I could get in a groove and a flow and I shoot them dice, man. And it's been times I could shoot for like, an hour or something, don't even go out and just make hundreds and hundreds of dollars, man. So I had that ability, so I like to shoot them dice, man. And I can remember though, like I say, the first incident, I go in a cell and I'm shooting dice. They shooting dice and they piled up in the cell, 13, 14 deep in a 2-man cell, 8x10. You can imagine it's just packed up in here. People standing over top. And everybody in here just to shoot dice. Everybody here trying to win everybody money. But I'm the only out of bounds dude. I'm new, I'm green, I'm young, I'm from the city. Everybody that's in this room mostly is from the same city. I'm not even gonna say the city because of the reason it's a lot of moving parts in this part of the story, man. Because this thing got real ugly real fast, and it was a lot of people involved. And it's probably a lot of these people still out here now, and they probably looking at this, and they probably still feel a certain type of way by the way things went down. But at the same time, it's 30 years ago, but it's still reality. I ain't gonna never be cool with nobody who drew blood from me, if you want no doctor, you know what I'm saying? So I'm quite sure other people probably feel the same way. So I save a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying, just for sentimental reasons, man, and people personal feelings involved. But let's just say I went in there and I'm gambling and the odds against me, but I'm young and I'm cocky then, so I ain't really paying attention to the dynamics. They all possibly was in there just trying to beat me after I came in. They probably was trying to beat each other, but when I came in, I became the mark. I became the victim. Well, let's get him. You know what I'm saying? Let's win his money, and then we can, work on each other later. That's how I felt the situation went down in retrospect. So anyway, I go in there and I'm shooting dice, and I start shooting. I bring some money in. I lose. It's cash and carry. Tell me go get some more money when I ask for some. So I go get some more money. I lose. Now at the time, this was earlier in my bid, so you could get packages and stuff sent in. So I had packages just recently sent to me, man, where I had, jeans and belts and jean jackets and new shirts and super Timberland boots, man, like $280 boots, which a lot of people in prison didn't have, especially, that was a DC thing, man. We wore them big old boots, and we was up there in the mountains, so it snowed up there deep, 4 or 5 inches of snow lots of times, even 10, 12 inches of snow. So I had all of this new stuff that I had just got in. So when you gambling in prison, when you can't, bring money to the game, you can put other stuff you got in pawn. You can put your ring in pawn. You can put your clothes in. So I lost so much that I started putting my stuff in pawn. So I'm pawning the stuff that I haven't even wore yet. My boots and my jacket and all this. So I'm thinking I got to win because this is what I do. I shoot dice. I get lucky. I got to win. I'm losing. And it seems like everybody in there is against me. So I'm like, man, what in the world? So little do I know, like I say, they probably was cheating me and getting out on me, which I believe to this day. But I didn't see it at that moment. I just kept losing till I lost all my stuff. Then I got all my stuff with him in pawn. I'm telling him, just hold my stuff. I'm going to get you the money. And I get my stuff back, but I got to pay him the money to get my stuff back. So I owe him like hundreds of dollars, man. I can't remember exactly, probably like $500-600. So to get my stuff back. So I go back in the cell that night, man. I'm super depressed, angry, disappointed, and everything. And then my cellie, he added fuel to the fire because he was like, at the time my cellie was Super D. Shout out Super D. Rest his soul, no longer with us no more. He also ended up dying in prison. I think I said something about him in another one of my videos. But yeah, that was my dude at the time, man. He was a homie. He was a good brother, man. And he was like, man, you lost all your stuff, man. You let them Bama's beat you out. All your stuff you just got, yo. Man, that's crazy, man. I can't believe you did. And that joke made me feel even worse, And as soon as he said it, being young and crazy and like cocky and feeling invincible, as soon as he said that, I said, made it up in my mind, oh, I'm going to take my stuff back.
The bacon special. Yeah, pure delicious. Pure deliciousness, man. My name is, everybody calls me Banky. The bacon special. Yeah, pure delicious. Pure deliciousness, man. I'm coming out here after 30 years. I ain't got nothing but don't have. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. I'm rich in love. My family love me. And really my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.